Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to another session for our daily challenges, and we are on the fifth day, the fifth daily challenge. I'm so glad to see so many of you attending, and as you can guess that it's starting to get a little more difficult. It's not as easy as the previous daily challenges. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, these are the July daily challenges that Edist is conducting. The rules are simple. Every day, 10:30 a.m., we open up a new contest, a new coding challenge, and the first one to crack challenge is on top of the leaderboards. It's all CodeVita themed, so every day the question is based on CodeVita. You can sign up on bit.ly/edist-july-dc. You can sign up on that link and start doing. If you face difficulties while you're doing this, well, for each question we do release the solution, like I'm doing the solution video, and we also release the code. But if there are certain concepts that you're not good at all, and you see that you're not able to solve them because you don't have the conceptual ability, you can sign up for this course over here. This is the Edist CodeVita course. We have more than 100 practice questions, lots of tutorials, and a lot of mentor support to help you clear the questions. You can sign up on that course over here. You can also sign up in the description below. We have an early bird offer going on, so the course is typically for 2,999. Because CodeVita extended their deadline, we've made it 2,499 for now, but you can this is going to go away in some time, so please make sure that you sign up as soon as possible. You can use this discount and sign up for that. So today's question is called admin blues. This question you would have seen as user ID in CodeVita 2019. If you would have given it, it is called user ID, and it's called admin blues on our platform right now. And a lot of people were able to solve this really quickly, and I'd like to give a huge congratulations to Shravani, Sakila, Harshvardhan, Akshita, and Sharanya. Congratulations, you are the toppers for day 5. Brilliant stuff. Actually, and a special shout out to Shravani. She completed it way before the others, so good stuff. You're the top for day 5. She's generally on the top for many of our other courses as well. So all 5 of you've been doing great on the Edist platform and continuing to do your great work. Tomorrow is the next new day. That is day 6 is a new day. Let's see who's on top for that. All right. So let's look at today's question. I'll just open it up on the Edist platform. And so after I open up, this is a screen that will come in. I can just check this. So this is challenge number 5. And if I click challenge number 5, it's admin blues. Let me open up that question. So there's a lot of, there's a bit of English, but basically what the question says is, as a rule, so what's happened is we are given a string. So let's just go by it fully. What happens is that you're given some user IDs, and between any two user IDs, there's supposed to be like a comma between the two user IDs. But this person has forgot to put a comma between these two user IDs. And so what ends up happening is that a lot of the user IDs just get concatenated. We know that each user ID has to be minimum 4 characters, and that it can only contain alphabets and cannot start or end with a vowel. That's the only thing we know. Okay, but the issue is that just by given this entire string, can we figure out what are the possible combinations of this string that will give us the valid user IDs? For example, we know for sure how many user IDs are contained in that string. So let's just look at this example here. We know that there are going to be 2 user IDs over here. What we also know is that in those 2 user IDs, for sure that those user ID has to be of 4 length. So therefore, if you, let's say you start from the start, because let's say you discard the first element n, then you can't have n as a separate user ID, because each of the elements are part of a specific user ID. So what happens is, can I take NONA? No, I cannot, because the condition that was given to us was we can have minimum 4 characters, which is why we took NONA. We cannot start or end with an alphabet, okay? And can only contain alphabets, and cannot start or end with a vowel, not an alphabet, with a vowel. So now you have here NONA, which means that you have to get, you can't have NONA because A ends with a vowel, right? So you would have to do NONAJ. Is this a valid user ID? It is, but this would be valid if the remaining part is valid also. If the remaining part is not valid, then you are going to have a problem, because then you can't really break this string into different parts. So here, what KLOP, it is a valid user ID, because it has 4 characters and starts and ends with a consonant. It doesn't end with a vowel. Okay. Let's look at another example, and this one we'll check here. That will be better. So if you look at POPPOL, FGOP, GDU, H. Just a big string, right? So I'll just come back to my slides. Let's see how we would go about, breaking this apart. Okay, so you'll just follow along with me. First things first is, let's see how we'd break it up. We'd break it up like this: P O P P O. Like with P O P P, could we have broken it down? We could have broken it down, right? So is P O P P a possibility? 1 second. Yeah, POPP is a possibility, right? Sorry for this. So yeah, POPP is a possibility, which means if we are trying to break it down at POPP, so let's say it's POPP, okay? If we are trying to break it down at POPP, so we got this here, then let's say the next one has to start with an O, which is not possible, right? Because my user ID cannot start with a vowel. So I cannot break at POPP actually, because O would start with a vowel then, right? So the next user ID would start with a vowel, and I can't say, it's POPP and then forget about O, then it will start from L. Each one of these alphabets have to belong somewhere. So I can't break at POPP. Can I bring it at POPPO? No, because O itself is a vowel. Can I break it at POPPL? Definitely I can break it at POPPL or OL. I can break it at this. So if I break it there, the next one starts with F, which is exactly correct, right? I can start with an F. Can I go till the minimum I can go till is FGOP, and that's correct, because for 4 characters, none of the start or end is a vowel. I can break it over here, and then I can do JDUHQERTOL, right? This is also valid. Great. So I got one possibility. Now with these two being the first ones, can I go even further? Can I, with POPPOL, can I go even further, right? Yes, I can go further. That means that now some of you might be, before I even go, some of you might be thinking, why didn't we break at JDUH, right? Well, we can't break at JDUH because it's given that we can only have 3 strings from this. So we are supposed to make only 3 strings, and each of those strings have to have at least 4 characters, and they cannot start and end with a vowel. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Can I break this part, right? So if I take this out, can I break it here? Absolutely I can, because minimum 4 characters, starts and ends with a vowel, with a consonant, starts and ends with a consonant. So this is possible. Okay. Now the same thing, can I take it even further, right? POPPOL, FGOPJ. Can I bring D here? If I bring D here, it starts with a U, which is not possible. So this is not possible. I'd have to bring U here, but again, I can't end with a U. So I need to bring H here also. So if I have to bring H here, I get this. So yeah, QERTOL is possible. So I get these 3 combinations here. Can I go even further? Let's see. Is it possible to go even further? Can I go Q here? Well, if I go Q here, then it starts with E over here. So I have to go E here, then this will start with R. But the problem would be that it cannot end with E. So I'll need to bring R here. But the moment I bring R here, TOL is 3 characters, and it's not possible to do. So we have reached the end of the line with this particular prefix, POPPOL. We can't go even further than that. So now we have to, what can we do next? We have to expand POPPOL. If I bring POPPOL F over here, that means this is with G, then I could do GOPJ, and then I could do GOPJ, and 1 second. So if I've done this, I could do GOPJ, and I could do so I could do DUHQERTOL, right? So just imagine this, POLF, I can do that here because I did till L. Then I can do GOPJ because that's the minimum I will require, and then I can do DUHQERTOL. Okay, so that's one. Then what else? F, right? Can I go further than that? So I got this. Then I have GOPJ, sorry for that. OPJ, GOPJ, and then can I bring D here? I can bring D here, but the next one will start with U. So I have to bring U here also. And if I bring U here also, then it has to start, it be H as well, right? So I'll have to bring H as well over here. And then this becomes, then it becomes QERTOL, right? So it becomes QERTOL. So far, how many do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can we go even further? Let's just check it out. If it's possible to even further than this? Well, if I go PPOLF, this is what I'm already going. From here in the second last one, can I add Q? If I add Q, I'll have to add E also. I'll have to add E also, but I can't end with E, so I have to add R, and with RTOL it's just not possible, right? So it's not possible here, which means that I have to expand here. So I bring G over here. If G goes here, I need to get O also. If O comes here, then I need to get P also. And if I get P, then it becomes JDUH, and this becomes QERTOL. QERTOL, right? So these are possible. Can I go even further? Well, if I bring J here, can I go even further than this? Second. Let's try to go even further. And so this is how we'll actually solve the question. So it's just first you have to understand. As I always say, sample input, sample output is the first thing you guys should understand. Let's see if we can go even further over here, right? So if P, O, P, P, O, L, F, F, G, O, P. If I bring J here, then over here I would need D, U, H, Q. But I can't just bring Q here because the next one will start with E. So I'll need to bring ER, and it's not possible to get the next one. So I can't go further than PJ. What about PJD? Well, if I bring D over here, I need to bring U as well and to get H as well, which means that I will be left with QERTOL, but I need 3. So I would be left with QERT and then OL at the end. So it's not possible with this. And then what happens if I bring Q here? Then I need to still bring E here, then R here. So then I'm left with only TOL here. So it's not possible further than that. This was the last possibility that we had. So the total number of combinations we could, or the total number of ways we could break this up is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The last one is the same as this. So totally we could break it up into 6 possibilities, right? And so that's what the answer as well is there for this one, that you can break it up into 6 possibilities. Okay. Now these are the sample test cases. Let's test even further. Let's test even more. Let's take one more test case and just understand. So for example, let's take this one. Again, we have to break it into 3, and we have these 8 P's, 4 L's and 1 M, right? So the first break that we can break is that we can get these 4 P's, we can get these 4 P's, and then we can get 4 L's and M. The problem with that is, if you look at the question, these are all user IDs, right? So you cannot have 2 user IDs which are the same thing. So this actually is not a correct breakage. Your correct breakage would actually be something like, if I got 4 P's over here, then here I can't get 4 P's, I'll have to go for a 5th P, because otherwise if the 4 P is the same as the previous user ID, right? And we have said we are going to have 3 different user IDs, right? So this would be one correct breakage. What is the other correct breakage? Well, the other correct breakage is you could have broken this at 5, this could have been ended at 4, and yeah, then there are 4 L's and an M over here, right? That's mainly the only breakage that you can get here. That is, so the answer for this one would be 2. Whereas some of you made a mistake of thinking that we can get 4 P's here and also 4 P's here, but they have said clearly that it has to be 2 different there has to be different user IDs. So for example, over here also, excuse me, here these are all 3 different user IDs. You can't break it such that 2 of them are same. So we'll try to solve the question in 2 parts. First, we'll neglect this test case and try to understand how to solve this question, and then we'll actually take this test case up and see how we can optimize our code to also handle this test case. Okay, all right. So first things first, it is actually a recursive approach. I'll tell you why. Because see, what happens is we make a certain cut at a point, and then from the remaining part of the string, we try to find out if we can get certain user IDs. For example, what we're doing is we're saying that, okay, we can make a cut here, and we want to say from the remaining part, can I get 2? Because I got 1 cut here, which is 3. I want to see in the remaining part, can I get at least 2? So I'm basically speaking, what is the algorithm that I applied on this? On this entire string, I'm applying it on a smaller part of the string, but with smaller requirement. So I'm saying from this entire thing I need 3, but from this thing I need 2, and so from this one I need 1, right? So it keeps breaking down into smaller and smaller problems, and that is how recursion we generally use. That is, if you have a big problem, do a divide and conquer, that is, cut it at one point and see is it possible to get the remaining part get the answer from the remaining part. So that's exactly what we're going to do over here. That is, we'll make a cut and try to see how many possibilities are there in the remaining part of the string. If there are many possibilities, then We'll use them. If there are no possibilities, then we say this cut is not a valid cut. So this becomes a recursive approach, and as you all know, in recursive approach there are two things. One is the base case and one is the recursive case. And so let's look at these two in detail right now and understand. So what is the recursive case? Recursive case is what we're doing again and again. Let's think about what we want to do that. What we do is that we're going to start at the first index of the current string, right? So for example, let's take this example again. I'll start at this P, and I'll go till P plus 3. So that is P plus 1 is O, P plus 2 is P, P plus 3 is 3. That means the first cut I want to make it as POPP. I want to make the first cut there, and I want to check, okay, is this valid or not? If it is valid, then let's go and check for the remaining part of the string. If it is not valid, then add one more here. Now has it become valid? No. Now has it become valid? Yes, it has become valid. Now check for the remaining part. So the first thing we'll do is we'll actually we'll start at the first index of the current string. End is at start plus 3. If this substring, that is from the start till the end, is valid, if it's valid, then you will get the number of possibilities from the remaining part of the string. And the remaining part of the string is, see, end was start plus 3. So we will start from end plus 1 and go on till the remaining part. So this is the function definition, that is the number of possibilities from this string for these many employees, right? These many user IDs. So what I have here is, if the substring is valid, I will try to get from the remaining part of the string, okay? And if from the remaining part of the string, I'll try to find how many are there, but I don't need as many employees. I need employee minus 1. I need I need just one less employee, because I made one cut here. I made this current substring as one cut. So that means the remaining part, I have to get employee minus 1 possibilities, right? And this will again go into a recursive approach. I'll keep going till what time? Till when should I keep going? Well, if you look at it over here, till when do we keep going? We keep going when we want from the remaining part 2. From this remaining part, we want 1. That means since this is a valid thing, what we want to do, what we'll actually try to do is, we have one more requirement, right? So it becomes, at this point, we get this thing. We have a requirement here of 3 employees. So I got, this is valid, that means I have only one more valid left, and if that one more valid is there, that means the remaining part, if it's valid, then I'm just going to return back saying yes, it is possible. Okay, so what the base case will look like is this. If I am at a position where the current string is less than 4, right, that means I've reached a place where it's less than 4, then this is not possible, because I've currently reached a place where I've made a cut such that the remaining part is less than 4. So for example, this is what we'll also do here also, right? Let's just duplicate this. With what the recursive approach is going to do right now is somewhat like this, right? So it's going to do, it's going to go here, it's going to first go to 4, try to cut it off, then it's going to try to cut this off at 4. It won't be possible to, because when it tries to cut this off at 4, you will not get a single valid string over here, right? You'll try to keep increasing, but you'll never get a valid string, because like for example, you'll try to start from here, but the recursive case will transfer from here, but it will never recurse inside, because this will never be a valid string, because it starts with O. So you will then go to O, then you'll go to L. So you will be at POPPOL right now. Then what you're going to do is FGOP, you're going to make a cut over here. Then JDUH, you will make a cut over here. This remaining part cannot happen, because right now the number of employees becomes 0, but the current string length is greater than 0, right? So that will be one of our base cases. If you look at it like this, if the current string length is less than 4, then do this. Otherwise, return 0. So that does not a base case, sorry. So basically, I'll just come to what the base case will be like. When are we thinking of returning, right? So we'll be here, we'll again cut here, and at this point, the current string is less than 4, right? So we'll return at this point. It doesn't make sense to even analyze this one, okay? So what we'll do is then we'll try to cut at O, but it will not, because it's not a valid thing. Then we'll try to cut at OL. But the problem with that approach will come when we needed 3, we got 4 over here, right? So the number of employees right now will be actually minus 1, because we got here we needed 2, here we needed 1, here we needed minus 1, right? So if we got minus 1, then this is definitely not possible. That means cutting here was not a good option. Let us try to cut here and see, right? And so it's going to cut here and try. Again, not a good option, because minus 1 employees. ER, then we'll try to see TOL. Again, not a good option, because this is less than 3 characters, then we'll try to get T O and then L. And at this point, when we cut it, what will happen is it will try to go beyond. At this point, the length is 0 over here, right? And current and employee is also 0. That means when we try to cut it, we got 3 possibilities, and also the length is 0 and the number of employees required is also 0. That means that we were able to cut this in the right way, such that we need 0 employees but from 0 length string. So that is what we could keep our base case here, that if the current string is less than 4, obviously we are not going to get anything, just return 0. If the current string length is 0 and employees is 0, that is further required employees is 0, then return 1. Means that you have reached the end, you cut everything beautifully, correctly. Now these sets of cuts is one such possibility that you can do, okay. Now when you return that back, it's going to add it to the answer, which means that we'll go to this case, right. Imagine this level of recursion, right. What you get over here is when you go into this level of recursion, it goes further in, it go to FGOP, this will return, okay, this will go further in, it will return 1, it's going to return 1 over here. Then next you're going to do FGOPJ, then it's going to go in, it will return 1. So now with PPOL, you got 1 plus 1 plus 1, 3 opportunities with PPOL. That's why, sorry, POPPOL. That's why we are returning 1 and adding those new possibilities over here. Answer is equal to answer plus how many other possibilities are there going forward. Is there a 1 possibility or a 0 possibility going forward, right? All of those possibilities going forward which give me 1, add them. The ones that give me 0 also add them. I'll just add 0 over there. So this is what we'll return over here. Now this is for this case, but this approach doesn't take into account that here our current approach will break it PPPP, and it will also then again break it PPPP because it's valid, and then it will try to check L and then 3 L's and M, right? But we don't want it to do that. We don't want like 2 user IDs to be the same thing. So here what can we do? Well, to even optimize it further, we can use a set, okay? How about, how do we do that? Use a set just for the sequence, which means that for our current sequence, check if this particular element or this particular cut has come before or not. So for example, when we try to cut this one off at, so when we are here, when we tried PPPP, we try to cut it off, then PPPP, and when we try to cut off here, this will actually not allow us to cut, because when we check all the sequences we already have this in the set, which means if you will check, is this valid? The way you'll check if it's valid is 4 characters. Does it start or end with a vowel? If not, it's valid. And also, it should not have occurred before. Now, in this case, it's occurred, so hence it becomes invalid. So then you will add an L over here, and then you will get here as LLLM, right? LLLM over here. Sorry for that. LLLM over here. That's how we'll solve this one. So we'll add a set, and let me just show that to you in the code as to how we can go about adding that set over here. I'll just open up the solution. So those of you who want the solution for this code, you can just go to hints, unlock the solution. I'll just unlock the solution for you, and then you can check it, right? So this is consonant. It's just a way of telling us if it's a vowel or a vowel or a consonant. So basically, this is our possibilities function. Pretty much the same thing. What we're doing is if the length is 0 and remaining employees 0, we'll return 1. Otherwise, if the length of the current string is less than 4, we'll return 0. So far so good. Also, what we are going to do is we'll check what is the current user ID, right? We'll get this current user ID over here, and we'll check if it's a consonant, and that is the start a consonant and the end is a consonant, and the current user ID is not in the current users that we've got so far, and that is a set which we are passing. We'll check that in just a bit. Whenever we go in, that is it's valid, then we'll add this user ID to our set, and then we'll pass it on into the next part of the function over here. Again, similarly, remaining string, remaining employees minus 1, and also the set for this sequence. And this set has our current user ID. Therefore, in the next one, when I go, if I try to cut with a similar thing, but this particular user ID is already there in users, then it will not consider it to be valid, right? So it won't cut in that particular manner. And once I'm done with this, I will just remove it from the set also, so that I can go into the next possibility. So yeah, it is a bit of a tricky code because it requires recursion, and recursion is always tricky. This is one of those things that comes with a lot of practice. I'll just run the code and show you that it works out. Let me submit it. And Yeah. Oh, great. And oh, by the way, you all can share this with your friends that you've completed it. Please share. Would want more and more people to sign up, and it'll be really great for you guys if you can share it with your friends. That would be great for us too. So just do share it. It's a request from my side. If you can share with your friends, just click LinkedIn, Facebook, WhatsApp, and share it with them that you have completed the challenge. Pretty cool feature. Brag about it that you finished it earlier than your friends. Okay, so coming back. As I said, it's a recursion based question. It can be difficult. This comes generally with practice. So I hope you guys do end up practicing a lot of recursion. This is the kind of question that can come in Code Vita. It has come in Code Vita. So don't take recursion lightly. Generally, I think this is the fourth or fifth question in a set of Code Vita, but still, I'd suggest that you understand recursion properly. For those of you who didn't get it, open up the code, try to go line by line, take a few examples and see what's actually happening in each example, and you'll be able to understand it better. If you were able to solve this in a better way without recursion, like you might have used DP, or even if you didn't use DP, used a better recursive function, please let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. If you're liking these videos, don't forget to like this video, share this with your friends, and subscribe to this channel so that more people can come to know about it. It's been really great to have you all for this July daily challenges. We are halfway there. We are at the 5th point. I think today's video is releasing a bit late. We just had some few technical stuff for that, but it's releasing, and we will continue to produce videos every day to help you crack these July daily challenges. So I hope this has been fruitful for you. Again, a reminder that a brilliant new course has been launched by Edist on the web development part, and you can go and check that out in our courses section. So if you go to the course section over here, you will check this web development webmaster bootcamp, which I doubt there is any course on the market which will give you as many projects as this one. And trust me, like there are like more than 13-14 projects. Each of these projects can be on your resume, and all of the HRs will love these projects of yours, right? So make sure that you sign up for this course. It's a brilliant course made by Abhinandan, our co-founder. So it's a great course. Do sign up for it, and make the most of your lockdown to learn a lot of skills. So yeah, that's mainly it from our side. Thank you so much for joining. We will be producing more such webinars. Thanks for joining in today, and I'll see you all next time. All the best.